Welcome to Backer Pause. What is Backer Pause? Our judges watch crowdfunding videos on air. When they lose interest in a video, for any reason, they hit pause and explain what caused them to experience Backer Pause. This is a fun way to teach creators about attention spans and what works and does not work for their videos. Videos featured from projects that are being advocated for on comicbookadvocates.com with permission. Want to be judged? Have a crowdfunding campaign you want to have on the show? Well, send us an email at comicsnewswire@yahoo.com, and that's comics, C-O-M-I-X. So who wants to play? Warning and disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this live feed are those of the guests, speakers, and or hosts, and do not necessarily reflect the beliefs, official policies, ethics, or positions of the content providers, advertisers, additional hosts, and or guests, hosting sites, groups, or entities attached to this programming. Viewer discretion is advised. That sounds so menacing, but you got to do it because sometimes people's feelings get hurt, and we don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. So we remind everyone, before we get into it, that there could be something said that might offend someone. And these days, people get offended easily. So we just want to put it out there. This is no longer a safe space. This is a judgment space. Oh, my goodness. These evil men, Ed Davis and Laurent, are here to actually judge people's videos and tell you when they experience Backer Pause. Go ahead, guys. Introduce yourselves.
So I'm Ed Davis. I'm the writer of the ongoing comic series Immortal Era. Just wrapped up a Kickstarter last month, actually April, and about to start sending out a bunch of rewards. And issue 5 will be launching on Kickstarter sometime in late July or early August. So keeping the train moving with Immortal Era. So that's basically what's going on with me. And if you have read it or enjoy it, check it out.
All right. Yeah, my man, you're actually here to talk about a campaign.
Yeah, my name is Laurent. I am the writer and creator of the series called Sacrifice. The first issue is just shy of 2 weeks into its campaign. Reached our funding goal, which is fantastic, and now just seeing what we can make past that to help things along and help the second issue come out a bit faster.
Do me a favor, just tap your mic because you're coming in a little low. It was perfect a second ago. Well, here's the actual campaign, and we're going to let him, I guess, play with that for a second, and we're going to watch the video. When he gets back, hopefully we can hear him. So this goes without interruption because he's our guest today. Let's check out what's going on with Sacrifice issue 1.
Hello, my name is Laurent. I'm excited to be on Kickstarter for the first time, showing off my original comic, Sacrifice. Set in the modern age, Sacrifice follows a man named Damien Blackwell. When he was an infant, the satanic cult performed a ritual to tie his soul to Lucifer. Their goal was to sacrifice him and summon Lucifer, which would bring about an age of demons. As you saw in the intro, this ritual was interrupted by angels, but not before the soul bonding could be completed. Now, whenever Damien dies, Lucifer will be summoned, and the world as we know it will come to an end. The actual story of Sacrifice takes place 24 years after this ritual, and the common man has no idea that angels and demons are living among him. During this time frame, the demons and other dark forces have been working towards killing Damien. The angels, on the other hand, have been watching over Damien from a distance, but their primary goal has been finding a weapon strong enough to kill Lucifer. This leaves Damien in the middle, who, at this point in the story, is a 24-year-old man and is awakened to unbelievable amounts of demonic power. What type of person does he grow to become? I won't spoil that for you, but I can promise you it's not what you'd expect. This 32-page first issue will be the first in an action-packed series featuring plenty of horror, comedy, fantasy, and pop culture elements. If you like stories like Shaun of the Dead, Army of Darkness, or Ghostbusters, which are filled with various types of demons, monsters, ghosts, and horrific creatures, but still have plenty of room for comedy in between, then you'll love Sacrifice. If Sacrifice sounds like something that would be interesting to you, I ask that you share with the people around you who think who might also be interested. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope I have your support.
And you're back with us.
All right, do I sound a bit better now, or?
Yeah, perfect. There it is. That's what we're talking
Okay.
I'm so curious what you think I think he would act like. Like, every time I hear that line, it's not what you'd expect. Oh, so he's not going to be a male stripper? I thought Magic Mike was the only one. I mean, I heard Demonic Powers. I'm a Lucifer fan. What'd you think, Ed?
Looked really cool. I haven't actually seen this campaign yet, so I'm excited that I found it because that sounds like it's kind of right up my alley. And yeah, the artwork that you showed in the video looks really amazing, and the story sounds like it's kind of a fun story. So I definitely, while it was playing, I went in Kickstarter and got it up so I can back it when this is over because it sounds like a great book.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yes, this has probably been the one I've had the most fun writing because as far as like cast goes, which people will get into that when they read it, I feel like they mesh together the best as far as like how entertaining they bounce off each other. But once again, that'll be more for when people get into it. I don't want to spoil anything on that.
How much time do we have left at this point?
How many days? I think I'm at like 16 days right now. I could be off by a day or two.
I have you listed to end on, wait for it, you should be ending the 17th, so 15 days from now. So just about 2 weeks, 2 weeks from tomorrow. So plenty of time to jump in on this. Like he said, already talking stretch goals, right?
So stretch goals is something I'm trying to figure out how I want to work. At the moment, I had it set up where like the script for issue 2 is done. Like everything's ready for it. My art team's ready for it to start the moment we're done with all the because there's rewards that are tied to pages. So we can't finish it until the campaign's over. But at the moment it was like, okay, I didn't have anything set for stretch goals this campaign that I knew for a fact I wanted to do. I'm interested in it. At the moment, the plan is like anything past the campaign goal of 3,000 is going to go all towards production of issue 2. They'll lower the amount that I need for that, and I'll be able to play around a bit more with stretch goals there. I'm going to think about something in my next update. I'll actually be addressing what type of stretch goals I can do for this campaign at least.
Sounds good. We all look forward to it. And who doesn't love a good devil tale? We do have some other great stories ending this week, actually, believe it or not. A lot of things are on their way out. It's the beginning of the summer. Everyone's leaving us, including Staunch, and I want to get this right. This is Staunch Ambition issue 4, the full trade. We're going to switch over to their graphic, which we should have. Where is it? Okay, we don't actually have it at the moment for some reason. Weird, but we'll play the video and we'll come back and talk about it. How's that sound? So here you go. Staunch Ambition.
Hello, all you beautiful independent comic book fans. It's Brian Lau, and I'm back at it again with Staunch Ambition's epic double-size.
Remember to raise your hand if you want to pause.
Mind-bending. Chemical.
If you're new to Staunch Ambition, this is the perfect time to come aboard. Because now you can get the full Season 1 story either as individual issues or the combined 128 full-color remastered trade. This trade's going to come with everything. You're going to get the full story, you're going to get all of the standard and variant covers, remastering the lettering, the dialogue, the colors, you have bonus material, beautiful new wraparound cover, and if that wasn't enough...
Hey, it's Leah. You may know me as Eden Hawkins from Netflix's Lock and Key, but I'm incredibly excited to partner with Brian over at Staunch Ambition to bring you music a little bit different from what Eden Hawkins is typically used to. I'm also incredibly honored to be illustrated as Commander Rael, and I'm very excited for you all to watch this series, and you gotta read the series.
Ed, put your hand down. She's too cute to pause.
I hope you really
Put it
enjoy
down.
Staunch Ambition and the music that I am working hard to put together for it. And make sure to share with your friends and family and fellow comic book lovers, and let's get this thing off the ground and up into outer space. It was so cheesy, but it worked. Okay, bye.
All right, Ed, party pooper, Ed. Why did you experience Backer Boss?
I mean, she's cute. I'm not gonna begrudge her that. And the video was just, I was so lost on what was going on. It was moving around, but I know he has a lot of issues out, but I have no idea what the story's about. I know he has a guest star now, but I still couldn't tell you anything about the series. It might be great. I couldn't tell you because the video was, it didn't really seem to have a direction for the people who haven't read it or heard of it before. It's more for people that have backed it in the past. It felt like it was kind of a celebration for them, but for the ones that would be new like myself, it didn't give us any context.
That's a good point, Ed. What did you think, Laurent?
A lot on the same boat where I like the visuals that I did see. And sometimes to me that can be enough for me to be like intrigued enough to keep going and look more into it. But like I said, if there was a gun to my head and I was like, if someone asked me to tell them anything about this, I couldn't say a single word. Which I feel like like he was saying, if you're someone who's come back to the series, that's fine. You already know what you're getting. But for enticing new readers, they won't really know if it's something to be for them. So that might drop the chance of them backing it.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. And this is his last night. I think we're down to a few hours, actually. There's a new song they dropped. Definitely check it out. But this is a learning lesson, guys. Invite the new fans in immediately. Because of the fact that Ed and Laurent had no idea what was going on, they both started to be like, well, I don't feel invited. Start your video inviting the new people, end your video talking to your base. It's just, in my opinion, the best way to go about it. Coming soon to our show, we'll have Techulum Chapter 1. And that's brought to us by Thomas Ryan. We're going to have Life on Chorus. So that's coming up very soon. We're going to have some other news, including Continuum news. Stay tuned. The new release of the Continuum just came out. There's more news this week coming to you. But until we get there, first, we're also going to get into Specs Thomas. Specs Thomas was on the show recently. He talked to us about his comic book. And I have to be honest, this has been the most passionate video I have seen in a long time. I want to know what you guys think, especially you, Ed. I think, Laurent, we've already seen this one together.
Yeah.
But I haven't heard Ed's feedback on this. So here we go, Ed. You're in the hot seat.
What's up, y'all? This is Specs Thompson, the creator of Legacy of You, and this is my Kickstarter for issue 3 of my comic book series. I hope that by the end of this video, I can get y'all as a backer to help me out, boost my dream up, to get these books, these characters, and these stories that I fell in love with in y'all hands, so y'all can fall in love with them the same way I have. So let's go.
The Legacy of You stars a high school sophomore named Chaz Johnson, who's an intern at his uncle's recording studio as a musical engineer. I chose to make him a musical engineer because I'm in the music industry as a DJ, and I want to incorporate aspects of my life inside my comic book series. So I chose to make him a musical engineer so that he can meet the different artists that I place inside my comic book world, as well so that I can use different lingo that's used inside the studio, as well as different terms and techniques that's used as well, so the readers who's not familiar with the studio life or the aspects of the studio or the recording process can learn about it inside the Legacy of You. So enough about that. So basically, Chaz became the View by being in the wrong place at the wrong time. He got stuck between the crossfire between the Howl and the Sonic, which are the two villain groups in the story. And he got his powers by unknown circumstances from that crossfire that will explain his origin story later on. But right there in the picture, you can see how he uses his mask. He takes his shirt that he's wearing, he put it around his head, tied it up, and he got a mask right there, ready to go at any time. Anyway. So yeah, y'all seen some panels, y'all seen some pages. Y'all seen how Chaz transforms into the view? Just right there. But I forgot something. I forgot to tell you about his powers. That main thing about him. So, with the powers of the view, he has the powers of creation. With the powers of creation, he's able to spawn items out of thin air that typically last 1 minute. But first, he has to know about them items. He can't just make items out of nothing that he don't know about. So, if you try to make a car, he gotta know how that motor works. Without that motor, the car won't work. But you know he does make? He makes a baseball bat. Because he's a baseball player. He knows the ins and outs of that baseball bat. So he used that baseball bat to whoop people's butts. And you can see that in pretty much all my issues. He used that baseball bat and he goes to town. And that's one thing about him. He knows his items, he used them beforehand. Because if he didn't, it won't work. They'd be too flimsy, too soft, and just be terrible. But you know, Chad's a smart guy. And he knows better. Alright, this Kickstarter right here is $1,300 to help my project, my dream, come true. With $1,300, I'm going to use to pay my staff, everybody who helped me create this book, money they need to better their lives. Because you know, it's all about coming together, we all eat. And as well, my printer, so I get these books in y'all hands so y'all can enjoy and fall in love with characters, like I said, the same way I do. And then, you know, the view is not my only character. I got plenty more characters ready to go. I need this Kickstarter right here for this $1,300 to work. So I can have other characters come alive too and make this whole world I'm created come together. So y'all fall in love and just be the next Marvel, DC, or Image, or the Dark Horse, anything like that come true. You know, this is my world, my Jordan universe, and I'm trying to get y'all to know about the view and my comic books. $1,300 I need from y'all to help me out, get my dream to come true. So right now, if y'all don't mind, y'all go to the bottom of this page, you know, it says back this project, a little tab right there. You know, you click that, and pick one of the rewards over here in this corner right here, right there. And you know, help me out so I get this book in y'all hands, and you know.
Because he's just talking about the Kickstarter, it no longer makes sense because there's none of that here. But what did you get?
And like you said, he has a lot of passion, and you can tell he deeply loves this project and wants it to succeed. I wish he had better audio because it was kind of clicking at certain points, and I mean, investing in a smaller mic, but that's easier said than done, especially when you're just trying to raise money. So that would have been my only gripe with it, was the audio quality kind of fades in and out. It's better when he's showing the actual pages from the book, but then when it's going out, I was hearing, you know, like it was points where I almost needed to go churn mine up because it was a bit too low. So maybe kind of a normalizing of the audio would have been a good thing, so it was steady through the whole video. But I definitely want to know more, and I feel like I want to help him. You know, I want him to succeed because he cares so much about it, and I love that kind of passion. Because if I sit up and try to talk on my campaign, it's so bad. I don't think anyone would want to back it based on watching me, but watching him, I want to go check it out and throw some money toward that $1,300 that he needs.
Right, like passionate guy. Laurent, anything to add? I know you saw this 2 weeks ago. Or last week, whenever it was.
It was last week.
Okay.
And no, a lot of the same things. Like there is always something special for me when I see something done by someone who's like passionate about that thing, because that can bleed through. It'd be one thing if it was like I have some knowledge of the music industry and I'm writing characters in there, but it's another one where like you have like this natural grown love for that and you're writing, because that is something, a level of genuine you can't replicate. So that's something that you can really tell he has just in that video alone.
Absolutely true. And we're going to move on. Time's running out. Back that by Friday. Don't get left behind. Little bit of a hint for you guys. We have a short from his Legacy of the View series coming up in Heroics, the next release from Continuum Comics. I've gotten to read it. He's really good at entertaining. And the art choices that he did, this is going to be cool. So this is going to be one of those guys you're going to want to pay attention to. Passion like that, it winds up finding a way. I'll leave it at that. We're going to move on to our story from Down Under. This is Sean Keenan, who brings us sometimes some of the best stuff, and this is one of them, in my opinion. The 13th Labor. If you're a Hercules fan, this one is for you. Oh,
What's up, everybody? My name's David Gay, and I'm here to talk to you about The 13th Labor. The 13th Labor is a fantasy sci-fi comic written by myself, illustrated by Arturo Mesa, and lettered by Tom Napolitano. The comic picks up just as Hercules, Greek demigod of swollenness, is finishing up his 12 labors. Labors that have taken years off his life, but have left him no closer to the peace of body and soul that he seeks after the death of his family. Never one to miss exploiting his own children, Zeus offers Hercules a final labor, one that will take him thousands of years into the future and will determine not only his fate, but the fates of everyone on Earth. The 13th Labor is a family drama wrapped in a bloody tale of gods and aliens. If you enjoyed comics like Jupiter's Legacy, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, Thor, or movies like Immortals, Guardians of the Galaxy, even Little Miss Sunshine, stories where heroic accolades are earned, not given, then the 13th Labor is definitely for you. This is the very first printing for issue 1 of the 13th Labor, and we have some outstanding rewards for this campaign, including personalized sketches from the seriously talented Arturo Mesa, as well as 2 variant covers exclusive to this Kickstarter only. Thank you everyone for your constant support, and we can't wait to show you what's next.
what'd you guys think?
That one looks really good, and I like it. Was quick. It was to the point. He gave me enough to know what the story is going to be about, and if you're into that kind of mythology, it's going to be the perfect story for you. That's one I look at and think, I know my daughter would love reading that one, so I'm going to go check that one out and get a book coming her way, because I think she would really enjoy that. And I like the way the video was structured, and he got right to it and hooked me in. So I'll definitely be checking this one out when it's over.
All right. Anything to add to that, Laurent?
Yeah, I top to bottom really enjoyed it. Art looked fantastic. He had plenty of art to show off. The story sounded very compelling, especially because I really liked Greek mythology growing up. And the line, never one to not exploit his children, talking about Zeus, because so a monster in mythology. I just really loved it, and I'm actually probably gonna back it right as soon as this video is over.
All right. And one of the things that we always like to see on this programming is things coming to us soon. And I actually have something right now for you. Sister Mercy, Inferno. Things look like they're going to get really difficult for the sister. That'll be coming to us soon, so stay tuned. Also, a little bit of information for you guys. I don't know if you can read it up top, so I'm going to read it for you. Kickstarter's website and app will be down for maintenance in 1 day. So 1 day from now, please do not ask me if Kickstarter has folded and gone out of business. It will be offline for 1 hour, guys. 60 minutes, so give them 70. They apologize, and they'll be back up running soon. Usually happens in the evening hours, not during the day. They didn't give an exact time, but I would expect it around 10 to midnight. So just be aware, this is going to be happening. Don't freak out. And one of the things you can do before it goes offline or when it comes back is go to Heroics Comics. That's HEROIX Comics, COMIX.com, and subscribe to the Continued Presents. We'll find out more about that in just a minute. But for right now, we're going to move on to our next feature. Now, the 13th, that ends on what we just saw at the Hercules thing from Sean. That ends, I believe, on Saturday. You hear Jackson in the background. He's all excited. We're going to go on to Cindy Kep's Animal Eye, which we got to hang out with Cindy last week and talk about this. She's definitely a creator who's got a long plan for this. So, I mean, she started off as a novel, and now it's a comic book. So we're going to head over, and we're going to take a look at Animal Eye right now. So let's play that video for you guys.
What if you could see the world like an animal? What if you could soar like a bird? Detect faint smells like a dog? What if a video game allowed you to play an animal character in a unique fantasy setting? What if a comic book series put you in such a video game setting, telling the story from the point of view of animal companions to human characters? Welcome to the world of Animal Eye. This comic book series will follow the adventures of 3 animal characters, Ala the crow, Vigid the dog, and JL the bear. Many fantasy stories feature animal helpers to human characters, especially horses or dogs, but sometimes birds like falcons, or in the case of Animal Eye, a crow. Fantasy-based video games do this as well at times, with human or demi-human player characters in the role-playing video game, with animal assistance in the game available to the main characters as what are, in effect, non-player characters. The Animal Eye story world flips this dynamic on its head. In Animal Eye, the video game player characters are the animals, and the non-player characters are the humans the animals assist. Join playtesters Ken May and Jake as they become Ava the Crow and Nagi the Dog. In Issue 1, each must find a human companion to guide them on their adventures. Ava finds Aussie, Bakari tribesman, archer, and herbalist. Baron Raphael Dorcas, who wields a sword and a flintlock pistol, teams up with Nagi. In the world of Animal Eye, demented monsters are attacking settlements, including Aussie's family. Join Ava and Aussie as they come to JL's aid in a fight against the maniacs. Join Baron Raphael and Nagi as they undergo a parallel adventure battling demented maniacs. Issue 1 lays the groundwork for a unique comic book series in 6 issues, adapted from the novel Animal Eye by Cindy Kep. An adventure is beginning, an adventure you can join with your support, an adventure where you can become the animal.
I don't know why that's such a long thing. Look, it's my TikTok channel. I'm actually going to share the video that explains it. While I'm doing that, guys, talk to me. What did you guys think of that?
It looked good. It looks interesting. I like the cartoony style. Seems like a good one for like a family-friendly book. And I know if he's adapting it from a novel, it's pretty much the groundwork is already laid, so it's going to be the way it's going to be told. So yeah, I mean, it's something I'll give another look and read more into. So it at least caught my interest for sure.
Show that allows. And what did you think, Laurent? I know you were here last week with Cindy, so you got to hear a lot about it.
That was when I was dealing with my technical issues. That was the first time I heard the full thing uninterrupted. I really enjoyed it. I really gravitate towards stories where it's like, I don't think I've ever seen something like this specifically before. Like you said at the beginning, there's a bunch of comics out there where okay, I have an animal companion, I'm working with this, but not too often where it's like, no, I'm the companion. And that's a viewpoint I'm curious to see how it works. So I'm definitely interested.
I'm a slice of pizza. No, Jax needed me real quick. So we're going to move on to the next one. And there I am. What is Backer Pause? Well, I explained it in the garage today. You hear Jax. Help me, Daddy. I want to get a robot slasher game. Cindy Kep is off a Kickstarter before we get back here next Wednesday. So make sure you check her out. Robert Molitari. We're huge fans over here. I've known that guy for so long now. He did an amazing job of not quitting when things got tough early in his career, so he'll always have support from me. And if he hadn't quit, we wouldn't be able to watch this video. If he had quit, we wouldn't have watched this video. There goes my dyslexia. You'll understand that joke in a second. I got to deal with him. We'll be right back.
Do you love stories about anti-heroes and supernatural beings like werewolves, vampires, demons, witches, zombies, and more? Then Nightwolf is the comic book series for you. Nightwolf's unique take on theology and mythology encompasses elements of horror, magic, fantasy in a modern setting. Hi, I'm Robert A. Malteri, the creator and writer of Nightwolf, as well as the founder of Lone Wolf Comics. It's been my dream since I was a kid struggling with attention deficit disorder and dyslexia to be a comic book creator because comics have helped me learn to overcome my disability. Born into an outcast breed of werewolves known as the Monokai, 18-year-old Rodney Marcelli is reluctantly thrown into an ancient war between good and evil. With the help of Snowpaw, the pure-blood Monokai, Rod must learn to master his newly found lycanthropy and mysterious kinetic energy power that only he possesses. Rod must fight the Dark Covenant in order to avenge his friends and family and to save the girl he loves from the master vampire Lord Malice. Rodney Marcelli is Nightwolf. In April of 2016, I launched a failed Kickstarter campaign for Nightwolf issues 1 through 3. I played the game on hard, setting a $20,000 goal. However, I did manage to raise over $5,000, but Kickstarter is an all-or-nothing platform. I didn't let that failed launch stop me. so I decided to raise the money on my own by doing freelance web design jobs to pay the artists. After self-publishing Nightwolf issues 1 and 2, I came back to Kickstarter in October 2019. Since then, I've had 3 successfully overfunded campaigns for Nightwolf issues 3 and 4, and the Volume 1 trade paperback that collects all 4 issues. That's all thanks to my amazing backers that I refer to as my Wolfpack. Currently, I have written 12 issues of Nightwolf, and I have published the first 4 issues in print and digital formats. Now, I stand ready to publish issue 5, which is 100% complete and is ready to send off to the printers. That's why I've come back to pay for the printing and the rewards that you will receive for backing this project. I'd like to personally thank you in advance for backing this project and joining the Wolfpack. I'm extremely grateful for where I am now as a self-publisher and continuing to serialize Nightwolf for you to enjoy. There is no risk in backing this project since the first 4 issues are published and already printed, and issue 5 is print ready. Again, thank you for taking this creative journey with me. I appreciate it so much. So what are you waiting for? Join the Wolfpack today.
All right, no pause. This is like no pause night. Just so everyone knows, I put my money where my mouth is. I said that right. So here we go. I am a proud backer. I actually backed a lot of his campaigns throughout. I even backed the first one that was sadly unsuccessful. I recently learned that ADHD has gotten a lot more advanced with what they understand now. My sometimes bad pronunciation, I always blamed on my dyslexia. Turns out ADHD might be the cause. There's actually something in your brain that doesn't allow it to go through. So I notice a lot of creators with disabilities fight through those disabilities, and they're writers. Just imagine an artist who's partially blind. That's how it is to have dyslexia. So I give any creator who's overcoming their disabilities, because people don't understand, like dyslexia. Oh, I was dyslexic once, I got over it. It's not the cold. So a lot of credit to Rob for this. And ADHD, for anyone who really has ADHD, you'll understand it's not always easy to keep your mind focused, but he does a great job at it. All right, after that big introduction, who wants to talk bad about my friend Rob?
I don't need to, because I've actually backed the Nightwolf series myself. So I'm a previous backer. I'm backing this one already just to get issue 5, because I've backed I think I backed even the failed campaign. So yeah, I love the work, and it's a great series. So this one, I'm already hooked on it, and when he makes new books, I'll definitely be there backing him.
No pressure, Laurent.
None, because for anyone who was here last week, when you first brought up this campaign, I was like, before the show, I had actually found it on my own and backed it. Yeah. Sounded great. His experiences sounded great, because I haven't talked about this myself. I mean, it's not the same, but for me, it's like ADD was my thing. So my mind constantly wandering, drifting, kind of hard time for a while, like being able to focus and work on stuff. The only upside of that is because I was usually in my head, I was like fantasizing about stuff, and usually most of it would go towards my stories. I was like, that's interesting. Let me put that in the vault. So I sympathize with that, and I really enjoyed hearing his story. So I plan on supporting him anytime he has something out.
The thing that bothers me most about, and I'm sure you know this from having ADD or ADHD, is everyone thinks it's just being a hyper mess. It's not. You don't get over it. It's not one of those things. For the record, ADHD can just mean that you can't focus. You'll spend an entire day not being able, no matter what you do, you can't focus. Your mind is scattered. It takes a long time to develop skills around that. So, I've seen your work. I see you work hard, Laurent, and you're doing a good job. Rob's doing a good job. And Ed's a teacher, so he's dealt with it, I'm sure, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You've dealt with it from the other side, trying to help the kids get over this. Mm-hmm. So a lot of credit, Jax, who's autistic. He has done an amazing job thanks to the teachers in his life who have helped him past it. So we're in a good place, I think, at least helping out kids. Not like when I was a kid and they called me a retard. Not my word choice. This is a quote from me, actually, as my childhood. And one of the people I know who's a passionate creator, you guys know Ruben Romero?
Name is very familiar.
Well, you're going to know. Well, you might know him because he used to be in the comic scene, took a little time off, and now he's back, and he's back with a vengeance. And tonight we're going to be showing off one of his projects, The Illusion Witch. So this is brand new to the program, first time shown. This means, Laurent, you're live. Now you actually not know what you to expect. So I want to see what you guys are. I haven't even watched this. So this is going to be new to me too. So here we go. This is The Illusion Witch.
What's up, everybody? My name is Ruben Romero, creator and writer of The Illusion Witch. And I'm just here to thank you for stopping by and checking out the campaign. There's a lot of things that I could go into detail about the books, but I think the campaign speaks for itself. So please do me a favor, scroll down, check out the small preview of issue 1. I also have a YouTube review of issue 1. Of course, this is for books 1 and 2. So this is a great place where if you missed the first Kickstarter, you can jump on and get both issues, as well as some great rewards, hoodies, t-shirts, custom-made wooden coasters, some great art done by Alex Monick, and some great variant covers created by a slew of very talented artists. All of the information is down below. Again, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I just really want to say thank you, and please come on, join me in this adventure, and let's get this thing funded. Take it easy, guys.
The art's dope. I didn't like the transitions. That was my one. Plus, I didn't like the aspect ratio. I wish it had filled the screen. That way you could have seen more art. Maybe zoom into the art as opposed to have it flash in front of my eyes. I don't know what it is, but it bothers my eyes when people do that in videos. That's a personal thing. I think it's a good video. Ed?
I raised my hand to pause it only because of the zooms. It was too much for me.
My apologies. I didn't see it.
It's okay. And it seems interesting. I wish that there were some kind of narration or something written when he was showing the pages, because the art looks great, but I don't really know what the story is. But yeah, the zooming effect, that throws me off. If I'm watching a video, I turn it off immediately. I may still back the campaign, but that zooming it's too much for me. And then I'm also it's just my own peeve. I don't want to hear about what you have when I'm watching the video. I'd rather find out for myself. I don't need to know that you have hoodies and other things available, but that's just my own preference. And a lot of great videos talk about what perks they have. But yeah, the zooming was what did me in on that one.
You're up, my man.
So, zooming stuff aside, since it's been mentioned, the art looked fantastic. And from how he said it, because I haven't seen the page yet, all that information's there. The only thing is, with that video, at least doing the whole full page, lettered, that's not bad, but I'm not really gonna have the time to read an entire page and that 3-second clip you have up there. If that's for me to kind of get a vibe of the story, I feel like just personal preference would be, better off just using colored version of the page with no lettering and showing the panels you want to show off without doing the intense zooming in and out, because that also does distract me a bit. Not enough to fall back from it, but video alone, that's where I would judge it. But I mean, I'm interested in seeing the campaign just from the art, so I'll probably check out the page after this.
It's definitely something that should be on the radar. I love his passion. I agree with Ed. I don't always want to hear about hoodies. but sometimes the way you can work it in, I thought it didn't distract me. It didn't feel like he went full pitch. You know,
Yeah.
it didn't give me. Not once did I have the back and pause till the Zoom. And I know that's a personal thing, and I want to see the art, so I'll sit through it. To me, it's not an effect I like. It's way too much jazz, not enough content for me. I would have rather a double screen of art and let my mind wander. Because whenever I see art, I don't know if you guys, I naturally do the comic book thing where I start reading it with my eyes like it's a comic book. And I go through the panels and I'm trying to figure it out. And I'm like, that's dope. That's dope. What's that? And you're almost trying to put the story together. But with that Zoom, I get so distracted. I don't know if you can see my face. I start to like get, mad, and I'm not paying attention, and I don't see it the right way. I think like a dissolve would have worked better in a situation like that. If you're going to do that, do a dissolve that zooms in and out. But otherwise, I mean, solid. Just launched already 50%. I think it's already a project we love. I don't get it, man. Everyone's getting projects we love now. I don't know if like they're just more loving it Kickstarter. I just know some great people because I've seen projects we love a lot in the past week. Some of the people I know. A shout out to Travis Gibb, by the way. He has the second Voodoo book. We do not have a video, and he didn't ask us to cover it, but he's a friend of mine. So Voodoo Nations #2 is now on Kickstarter as well. He got a project we love. So shout out to Travis Gibb. You could find him out over on Kickstarter. Just look up Voodoo Nations #2. We're going to move on to another new thing given to us this week, and this is Mighty Might. We don't have a video for this one. CB Zane's killing it though. Fully funded in like an hour, if not faster.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was quick, and it was crazy how fast it went down. CB Zane's an amazing artist. He of course does Into the Suck. This is the Mighty Might #1 is a superhero comic book introducing the littlest wonder of the world, the pink powerhouse, the Mighty Might. I dig that pitch line right there. I guess that's why you don't need a video. That's such a good pitch line. You don't need a video. I want to get there, man. I want to not have to do a video, make fun in like 15 minutes, and just go about my day. But CB Zane, he's on social media a lot. He does a lot of the work to get to know fans. He's always reachable. So I think that also goes with him building a strong and very powerful fan base because he allows himself to connect. We're going to check out now Keith Carmona. I am sorry, Keith. I know I probably did a horrible job of that. And we're going to check out, like, I'm so distracted by boobs right now. I'm a horrible human being because I was reading and I saw boobs and I stopped thinking. ADHD right there. I was like, look, boobs. I'm such a kid. Here we go. Did you raise your hand?
Who?
Oh, Ed. Sorry, Ed. I thought you raised your hand.
No, my hands are down here. I keep them under so I don't accidentally raise.
I apologize. Do you guys want me to start that video again?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. That was me. Because it flickered for a minute. Your spot went out, and I couldn't tell if you had raised your hand when it went out. I felt that for last time. Here we go, guys. I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of that video. I love the art, but it was boring to me. A voiceover would have gone so far in that. It would have been helped pick up the pace. The art looks amazing. Like, that made me stick through some of it, but I would have paused, and the art would have made me literally go to the campaign page and check out what's going on because I was done with the video. What about you, Ed?
The video worked, like you said, a voiceover would have really stepped it up because at least he put some of the some words there so I could kind of understand the story. I think the movement of the panels was at a pace that worked for me. I was able to see enough to be intrigued by it and not feel overwhelmed by the speed one way or the other. But yeah, I think narration would have really done something more. And I thought maybe he was going to come at the end after we saw that say something about it. So I was kind of waiting for that. That's why I didn't pause. I was thinking, okay, I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt and wait for the moment that he comes in and really tells us about it. But yeah, the art's just amazing enough to definitely make me want to check out some more.
What did you think, man?
So that's probably the one I was the lowest on as far as the night goes, because the art looks great. I'll not knock a single thing about that. But there were two lines that were like kind of, giving something about the story. One of them was like, on the run from the powerful. I don't remember the second line verbatim, something about like, basically relying on an experiment. But I was like, okay, I don't, what does this mean exactly? And then it was like, the story continues. And I was like, but I don't know the story. I know literally nothing.
Yeah.
Like, even if it was a small bit, like I feel like I'd appreciate that more, because looking at that video, I was like, I couldn't say a single thing. I don't know. Art looks great. Art would possibly make me check out the campaign, but that's about it.
Now, I have publicly talked about boobs being used in a way to sell comic books, and I have publicly said and taken at times a problem with the way a female is represented in comic books. But I'll be honest, that art I find very sexy. It feels feminine in nature. Like, that to me, you know what it reminds me of? Aeon Flux. I always say that.
Eon, I think it's Eon or Aeon. Yeah, I don't know. The AEON.
It reminds me of that.
That was from the MTV back in the day.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Liquid Television, I think.
Yeah, right? Like, right away it's taken me to there.
Yeah, now that I see it, I can definitely see that same connection.
And the art's fantastic. Like,
yeah.
To me, it just, this looks like a cool character. Like, this is a character that has the sexuality is definitely part of the character, and I appreciate that. And I don't know, man. This book looked just that image right there. I was like, that's a cover. That is something. I'm trying to see if they have it actually in like a cover that we could see it, but I don't think they do. Oh, there we go. So that at your show on your table would sell.
Yeah, people put that as your backdrop, and people are coming to your table.
But you might get in trouble at certain shows. I was literally at a show this weekend, this past weekend that just passed, that actually asked me, and I followed. They asked me not to put up any Barbara Unleashed comics, and they asked me not to use my signage for that. Some shows, especially if they're looking for a younger audience, might not have that. I had the new Continuum poster you guys can see in the background over there. Here, I'll actually zoom in real quick. We have a little bit of time. There's our new Continuum poster. So that was up there, but I couldn't have Fetish Monsters and More, and I couldn't have the free Spanx sign out. And a whole weekend I cried about it to Mike. I felt bad for Mike because I was like, do you know how much money we would make? Like, suddenly I'd be a millionaire if that one sign was up. But it's weird. You have to be mindful. So, yes, I'm with you, Ed. For bigger shows, absolutely have that. But I'd also tell him to do a backup banner if he's going to do that.
Yeah.
But this art looks fantastic. This is something I don't back Indiegogos, but I'll be reaching out to him and asking him to let me know when this is going to be available for purchase outside of Indiegogo. And that's my own personal stuff between the war of me and Indiegogo. For those watching the show who constantly watch this show, they know exactly what I'm talking about. A little bit of also speaking of this weekend and having to be there. Ed, are you a Cat Dad fan? I think you weren't you?
Yeah. My daughter loves that one too.
This may or may not be the second issue, which may or may not be kickstarting on Father's Day. You're gonna have to stay tuned the next couple days to find out more on that. But yeah, it's out in beta testing right now. I'm having a couple beta readers. I love to have beta readers at the final part to give some feedback. I'm not going to save the feedback I've been getting so far because I do have it still out there. But, you know, stay tuned for more on that. We have one more tonight to talk about. We didn't get to this last week, so I'm happy we finally got to it. We actually had 2 weeks where we couldn't get to it. This is Remor. And this is going to, I think, Remor? What do you guys think? How do you pronounce that one?
Remir?
Remir.
Right. I don't know.
We're going to find out.
Remor.
Last
Hopefully
one.
he says in the video.
Let's see what he. Yeah, exactly. You ever notice that? Like when I watched, whenever I watch a movie, and as a comic book fan, you make up the names in your own head.
Yeah.
How they sound. That I don't know if you guys have ever done that. You've heard someone say it out loud on like a DC or Marvel movie. You're like, oh, that's how you say that. And then in the same
Game of Thrones was like that for me when I watched the series. I'm like, wow, I botched every single name in that book.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what you are when you're a fan. You have your own. It all comes to life in your own head, and then you readjust. And sometimes I know some people I've heard in movies where the pronunciations are slightly off, and you can tell that was someone who grew up with that name in their head a different way. All right, so here it is. Let's see how he says it, and let's see if he can survive the final backer pause challenge of the night. I hate videos that end like that, saying now on Indiegogo. I know that that more than likely, because this is on YouTube, because I'm sure he put it on YouTube. It's just, while we're doing this show, it's a pet peeve of mine. It's like, just cut the video, make one just for this show.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Again, I don't like the non-narrative. I think
it was missing a narrative, and it took a little while to even put any words at all. And I mean, it had a good energy, it had a good flow to it, so I liked that. But I feel like I know nothing about the story. I mean, he gave a couple little captions here and there, but not enough for me to be able to know. First off, how the hell do we pronounce it? We still don't know. And then just what is it all about? I mean, the art looked good, the energy was solid, but I feel like I'm waiting out some of these videos to see if they give us more, and then it just ends. So yeah, I don't know. I would look at it, but I don't know if I'm going to really work hard to seek this one out.
What do you think?
I liked the art. I liked the music. I liked, as far as the video flowed, you know, minus the not really going too much into the story itself. I liked all of that. I would have liked to know, that gave us a good idea of like, okay, yeah, he's a master thief. You know, he sets his sights high because this was like no prize can like daunt him. Pulls women, like that's great about him. I don't know what the story is about. I like the idea of a master thief in like a police state.
Hey, we actually have a creator here. It's Rammer.
Okay,
cool.
That makes sense. And I would like to know more about the character. Charles, come on the show. Talk to us about it. I don't feel like we got to know a lot about the character. The art it reminds me so much. No one has said it. I was waiting to see if Laurent was going to say it. It reminds me of Batman, the animated series.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I saw this and I was like, oh my God, I need to know more about that. That looks so cool. So let's take a quick look. Hold on, I'm calling it up. Did you have anything else to say? I'm sorry, we got interrupted. I wanted to say how to say it.
Lost my train of thought. I don't recall the last. I know the one thing I was like, I don't remember if it was part of it or if it was like a side thing. I saw like a cover for something towards the end. It was like Dami Loves You. I was like, what was that? But it was only there for a second and then it went away. So I need to go back to see what that was.
I definitely think this. Oh, you guys aren't seeing. It always helps if I share my screen, doesn't it, man? Oh, we have actually a comment. Let's do the comment, and then I'll show you what I'm doing. A museum heist gone wrong. 2 thieves dead. Rammer's fusion gear damaged. The target of the break-in, a banned object. The art destroyed. But that's just the beginning of Rammer's problems. Because one of his colleagues is a police informant. Damn rats. Can Rammer figure out who's tipping off the cops before he finds himself in a global freedom authority labor camp? I'm available for purchase to do voiceovers, guys.
See, now I'm in. Now that you give me that description, I'm like, okay, now you've pulled me in. From the imagery was beautiful, but nothing was pulling me into the story. But now that description alone, I'm like, okay, I need to know more about Rammer and definitely give this one a bigger look, because that alone tells me there's a story, not just the irresistible to women. There's a big heist gone wrong. So I like the idea now. That was you took me from I don't care to I need to know more immediately with that one description.
I'm just saying that
it's well done.
It's hard to be irresistible to women. I mean, it's something I've lived with. It's been a problem. I don't talk about it enough, but it's definitely been a problem. All right, guys, we're at the end of the program. Before we wrap it up, really quick, I want you both to tell everyone where they can find you. Ed, you're first.
You can find me on Finish Line Comics on all the social media, and then on finishlinecomics.com, and that's where you can pick up the previous issues of Immortal Era and eventually issue 4, but I won't be putting that one on the web store until all the Kickstarter people have received theirs. So hopefully sometime soon you can see me at shows in California, but my first show coming up is going to be Tampa in July. So hopefully I'll see some of you there.
Yep. All right. What's up, man? Tell them where they can find you and tell them about you. Give me an elevator pitch for it again one more time.
All right. So first, my own plug, just to knock that one out real quick, is you can find me at on Instagram and Twitter, always_B_evil. On Facebook, I have a page just for the comic, which is Sacrifice Comic. And as far as the elevator pitch, Hellboy meets Evil Dead. You have a person who basically, as a kid or as an infant, his soul was tied to Lucifer. You can see some of the preview pages I have there. And whenever he dies, Lucifer will come and bring about an age of demons. So I'm keeping a lot of it closed because I want the surprise to be there when people see issue 1, because you get his full deal as to like not 100% of what he is doing, because you get that in 1 and 2, but enough to invest you in the character and not be overloaded with information by issue 1. So that's still on Kickstarter. It has 15 days left.
All right, you guys want to see something I think is pretty dope?
Sure.
Let's see.
Check this out. Check it out. The Angel of Sadhill, look at that art, will be making its way to our next release. The Continuum Comics presents Heroics. And this is the art from Peterson is amazing. And the team behind this book, I can't wait to show you more. Credit to Mike Seeley for making this cool coming attraction to it. I can't wait to talk about this more. Stay tuned. We have so many great creators that are going to be in this book. We're going to be announcing another one this Friday. So stay tuned. And everyone who watched today's show gets a free copy of Comic Book School's Creator Connections Panel 1 because it's a free download. Go get it right now on comicbookschool.com. That's it. We're out of here. I thank the judges for being part of the show today. And Charles says I'll come on another time. Charles, I'm holding you to it. We'll hopefully get him on next week. And we'll see who else shows up to be the judge next week. But until then, let's talk about the importance of $1. As Jack's growls in the background. The power of a single dollar. One single dollar can help make dreams come true. Every dollar is a declaration of support and belief. It helps the creators and the teams behind the book. Just $1 helps create new worlds and keeps creators creating.